All right, so we are going to be looking at adding and subtracting. Complex numbers. Adding and subtracting complex numbers. A complex number consists of two parts. So a complex number consists of two parts. The real part and the imaginary part. So a complex number consists of two parts, the real part and the imaginary part. And we're going to see it written as A plus BI. A plus BI. A and B will be numbers. Okay, they could be fractions or decimals or integers, but they're going to be a number of some sort. I is going to stay as a variable. Any guesses on what part of that is real and what part's going to be imaginary?
I is imaginary and the numbers are real. Hopefully.
Close. A is the real part, and then BI is your imaginary.
Because it's next to the I.
Okay, so A is the real part and BI is your imaginary part. So if I give you something like 3 plus 7I, and I ask you to identify the real part and the imaginary part, can we do that?
Yep.
Okay, so what part's real?
3.
3. And what part's imaginary?
7.
7.
I.
I. Cool?
Cool.
Okay, so this next part we're going to be adding and subtracting, and it's super complicated and difficult, so I'm going to give you the steps. I'm being sarcastic.
You never heard me be sarcastic.
Okay, so here are the steps for adding and subtracting complex numbers. Step 1. Combine the real parts. Step 2, combine the imaginary parts. And step 3, make sure it's in the form A plus BI. So make sure your real parts first and your imaginary parts second. Can we handle that? We think so?
No, I'm not for sure though.
All right, well, let's see if we can handle it. So if I give you negative 2 plus 4I plus 3 minus 11I. Nope. Mm-mm. I knew exactly what he was going to say. Okay, so let's follow these super complicated steps. So step 1 is combine the real parts. Which parts are real?
Negative 2 and 3.
Negative 2 plus 3
So it's 1.
is 1.
That's hard.
Yep. Now let's combine the imaginary parts. 4I minus 11I.
-7.
Negative 7 I. Is it in the form a plus bi?
Is that me? I'll turn it off.
Okay. All right, let's try this one.
I'll put it on the floor so you can hear it.
So 4 minus I minus 5 plus 8I. Okay, what makes this one slightly more complicated?
Subtractions on.
You have to distribute that negative 1 in first. Okay, so my first set of parentheses stays, so 4 minus I, and then I distribute the negative in, so negative 5 minus 8I. Now I'm going to follow the steps. I'm going to combine the real parts. So 4 minus 5, negative 1. Negative 1I minus 8I, negative 9I. What's the real part in my final answer?
-1.
Negative 1. What's the imaginary part?
-9.
Negative 9I.
So that's all.
That's it. Okay, you try these two. What? No, there's no hard part coming. That's it. You try these two. I don't know
Give
why.
me number 3, Miss Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Is this gonna be a quiz?
This is going to be on your test. Okay, so you guys joke, like laugh and joke that this isn't difficult, but every single year, someone misses these problems on their test.
Are they 0? Is number 3 just 0?
Okay, so take a second and do these two problems. Okay, so number 3. If I'm combining the real part, 6 minus 6 is 0. Negative 2 plus 2i, negative 2i plus 2i, 0i. Now, you don't have to write the plus 0i. If you do, that's fine, but really your answer is just 0. Okay, so you can just write 0. If you wrote this, I wouldn't mark it wrong, but you don't need it. Number 4, you need to distribute that negative in first. 10 minus 10 is 0. 3i plus 4i, 7i. What was that? So if I, on number 4, asked you what the real part is, what would you say?
0.
0. What's the imaginary part?
0.
7i.
Oh.
If you write 0 plus 7i, that's fine, but we typically don't write that 0. Okay? Any questions?